Neet Aspirant, this is Caroline Green from Biotechnica. So I'll be talking about how you can target NEET examination, very specifically Neet Zoology. Yes, so if you're going to have the last 50 days, you might be thinking, what do I have to learn? Because there are many things in your book to learn when it comes to zoology, very specifically, because human physiology itself is going to be maximum. So I'll be talking about most important topic that you should not miss or you should definitely study in the last 50 days. So I'm going to divide them into Neet Zoology 11th book and 12th book separately, and we're going to see what are the most important topic that you should concentrate on. Certain topics I would suggest you to skip. Certain topics definitely a revision is a must. Of course, you might have revised before 50 days, and after during this 50 days, what are the things that you should not miss? That's going to be the topic. So first, let's talk about the Neet Zoology 11th, very specifically. In unit number 1, diversity and living world, we know there is animal kingdom. So this animal kingdom is very, very important. First important thing is you have to learn this flow chart. Very important flow chart, because you can see a broad classification of kingdom animalia based on the common fundamental features. I would suggest when you're going to see any flow chart like this, please read figure 4.4, what is written beneath. That is very important. That can become a question. And the next one is they have given most important star point. Echinodermata exhibit radial or bilateral symmetry based on the stage, very specifically, whether they are in the adult stage or whether they are going to be in the juvenile phase. So when they are in the juvenile phase, you can have a bilateral symmetry. When you see a starfish, it is going to be an adult stage, which is a radial symmetry. That's what they are talking about. And you have to study about the levels of organization. So is it acellular level, cellular level, tissue level, organ system level. Next, symmetry, you should learn what are the organism comes under asymmetric conditions, bilateral, radial symmetry, and body cavity or coelom, which are going to be acoelomate, and then you have to remember eucoelomate and then pseudocoelomate. If it's going to be eucoelomates, you have to learn enterocoelomates, everything in detail, and what are the organism. So this is the most important flow chart that you should never miss. In animal kingdom, you will find lot of flow charts. So flow charts, a table, whatever you see in animal kingdom, you should never forget. And I would suggest you don't have to learn any other examples apart from your NCERT book, because animal kingdom itself has a lot of examples, so you can make a tabulation, learn it. The next important thing is you will have questions based on this table, which will be given at the final page of Animal Kingdom before the summary. So you have to study all the things, digestive system, circulatory system. So how you can learn is first study about the levels of organization for all the organism and make a tabulation for all the complete organism. Then come back to this one and then start learning this one. Next, you have to learn the subphylum Vertebrata, this flowchart, and this is the difference between notochord and non-notochord. So this is also going to be very, very important. You will have questions based on this. Then you have to learn from phylum Porifera, what are the special characteristics, levels of organization, symmetry, coelom, digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, all the things is common, but write what is applicable for each of the phylum. Most important is examples and images given in the animal kingdom. Next is Coelenterata, examples, all the characters, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, Chordata, all this thing. And after Underchordata, you have to study Vertebrata, Agnathostomes, Gnathostomes, everything, and type of fishes. Pisces, you have to learn. In that, you have to learn cartilaginous fishes, bony fishes. Important tabulation. You can make it in the form of tabulation and learn it. And then amphibians, reptilia. Examples underneath this amphibia, reptiles, aves, and mammals are maximum. In brackets, they will be given. So write everything in the form of image, or you can call your friends with those names so that you won't forget anything. So you can study Animal Kingdom in the form of a flowchart. Most important one, easy questions you can expect if you're going to revise it very much properly. Animal Kingdom is not going to be tough. So at the last 50 days, you have to study this way. Next is structural organization in animals. The first thing you have to learn about what are simple epithelium, squamous epithelium, compound epithelium, columnar epithelium, and the image is given. You have to remember those things. Along with that glandular epithelium, you have to learn ciliated epithelium, everything, and where these epitheliums are actually present in which part of the animal system you have to study. Next is connective tissues. You have to study dense connective tissues and dense regular, dense irregular you have to study. Next one, you have to study about the muscle types. Muscle types, you have to remember skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, cardiac muscles, as in the form of a or we can say in the form of a table, or the difference if you study, it's going to be very, very easy if you're going to learn muscle. So when you're going to learn skeletal muscle, study it completely, and then if you want to go for locomotion and movement, then you can go and study that also. Most important thing is cockroach, because you will expect a lot of questions in cockroach, so you should not rely only onto your NCERT book for this one. I would suggest you to learn the structure, the external morphology of a cockroach, how the digestive system and the image, respiratory system of a cockroach, and the circulatory system, how many chambers are actually present over there, and what's the excretory system of a cockroach, the nervous system, what are the ganglions that are present, male reproductive system and female reproductive systems, very, very important, which every point is very important in our book. So when you're going to study this one, most important, do not ever miss cockroach. All detailed things that I have written separately here, so that you should study at the last 50 days of your time. The next one is going to be cell structure and function. You will be having questions on biomolecules, cell the unit of life, and cell cycle and cell division in expect in botany. Next is going to be biomolecules. In biomolecules, you should remember the secondary metabolites, which can become a questions. What are the drugs? What are lectins, toxins? So this can be a question, so you should study that. Whatever you see in the form of this, you should study. So you can expect questions like the structure of a palmitic acids, and mostly you can find a lot of times lecithin structure is given and asked what's the structure. So they'll be giving an option, so remember it is lecithin. And the structure of nucleic acid also you should study. So in this chapter you'll be studying about the carbohydrates, monosaccharides, disaccharides, polysaccharides. In that you'll be studying cellulose, glycogen, starch, everything together. And then you'll be studying about the amino acids, what are the essential amino acids. Then what are the proteins? You will be studying the protein structure, primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary structure. And then you'll be studying about the nucleic acids and nucleotides, nucleosides, everything. And out of all this thing, we'll be talking about the bonds, and then we'll be studying about the metabolism, catabolism, everything. Most important thing is enzymes. So then comes the enzymes. In enzymes, you have to study about this activation energy. This graph is the most important graph, and you have to study these enzymes very, very properly. After that, you have to study about what are the factors that affects the enzyme action and mechanism of enzyme action. Then you have to study the classification of enzymes, which are given at the last pages, like oxidoreductases, transferases. This you should study, and definitely whatever tabulation you're going to see it in the biomolecules chapter are really, really important. So I didn't include one tabulation which talks about the percentage of water molecule, protein, everything. So that also you can look in for. The next is most important thing is human physiology. Yes. So first, human physiology, I would suggest what you can take up is, first you can target breathing and exchange of gases. So first study breathing and exchange of gases, then study body fluids and circulation. So you can study digestion and absorption later, or you can study it last, or you study it first and then move on. Study breathing and exchange of gases and body fluids together. Do not ever miss any of the units in human physiology, because this will be helpful for your medical courses also. When you go in for MBBS, it will be really good enough. So don't miss this chapters, I would suggest. First, breathing and exchange of gases, what are the things you have to concentrate? So you have to study about upper respiratory tract, and then you have to study about the trachea system, and then the complete lung. What are the external appearance of a lung? What is present inside the lung? What are alveoli? Everything you have to study. And mechanism of breathing. What is inspiration? What is expiration? What is forceful inspiration? What is forceful expiration? And pulmonary volumes, where you will be studying about the tidal volumes, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volumes. You will be studying about residual volume, and you will be studying many volumes and capacity. Most important one. And you have to remember the amount. How much is the amount? And exchange of gases. How the exchange of gases very specifically take place. So this is going to be this one. So how the exchange of gases is going to take place very specifically, you have to remember the partial pressure of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the tissue level, in the alveoli level. What are the things you have to remember? And the most important thing in this one, the partial pressure, this tabulation is very, very important. You can expect the same in your examination, so I have given you for this also. Next, transport of gases. How oxygen and carbon dioxide are transported, in which form they are transported, in the form of oxyhemoglobin, or in the form of carboxyhemoglobin or carbaminohemoglobin, what it has been transported, everything you have to remember. Next is how this respiration is regulated by the brain, you have to remember. And some of the disorders which is given, you can also remember those things, which is very, very simple. So after reading breathing and exchange of gases, You can see heart is related. That's why I'm telling you to learn breathing and exchange of gases, and then take up body fluids in circulation. So go to body fluids in circulation. Most important thing is study what is blood plasma, formed elements, WBC, RBC, everything together. Then come back to blood grouping, A, B and O blood grouping, and blood clotting. Most important thing is erythroblastis fetalis. This is most important thing that you have to study it, and you have to study the structure of the complete heart, the gross anatomy, the structure of a heart. What is the external structure of a heart made up of? What is pulmonary artery, veins? What is auricles, ventricles? What is bicuspid, tricuspid? Everything you're going to learn it, and then you're going to learn the double circulation that happens inside it. Most important, cardiac cycle. Cardiac cycle, you have to remember everything together. A rhythmic excitation of heart. Here you will be studying about the SAN, which is sinoatrial nodes, everything you have to, AVN, everything you have to remember. Next is ECG. So mostly in body fluids and circulation and breathing and exchange of gases, all the topics are important. This is what I can say for both the two things. So follow these two chapters very importantly. Then you can take up digestion and absorption. Digestion and absorption, please stick only onto your NCERT book. You don't have to study anything apart from it. So study what is digestive systems, and the dental formula is very important, and study about what are the secretions, the glands, and how digestion takes place in the small intestine, and then study about how it is absorbed in the blood and it's been transported. And finally, disorders are not that much important, but you can read it at the last moment. Next is excretory products and circulation. Match the following question is this page. So you will find platyhelminthes, what is the excretory systems, which is photonephridia, flame cells. So planaria they have given flatworms, then they have given all the examples. In case of Annelida, it is nephridia. So this will come in the form of a match the following question. So this paragraph is really important. In excretory products and circulation, first important thing is you have to study the structure of a kidney, very specifically structure of a kidney. And then you have to study about the structure of the nephrons, very specifically. Juxtamedullary nephrons, what is cortical nephrons, you have to study. And then how a urine is going to be formed, how it has been filtered by the Bowman's capsule, and how it has been concentrated, and what is GFR, GFP, which is glomerular filtration pressure and glomerular filtration rate, you should remember. Next is most important thing in this is countercurrent mechanism. Countercurrent mechanism is very important. And the next one is renin-angiotensin aldosterone system, which we call it RAS mechanism. That is also very important. After that, you can study the disorders. So this is also very important. Most probably you will see in human physiology, it's not advisable to skip most of the topics. Next is locomotion and movement. So here some of the images are very important. This image is Z-line, A-band, I-band, head zone, sarcomere. These are very important. And then what is going to be this myosin and actin. So this is actins. They will ask you troponin, tropomycins, everything. And ATP binding site, everything together. Then what is the, this is going to be the sliding filament theory. So this theory is very important. Then you can go and study about what are the contractile coupling, sliding filament theory, and skeletal systems you have to study. What are the bones that are present, axial skeleton, appendicular skeleton, everything. Vertebral column, sternum, ribs, how many are present, everything. And finally, you have to study about the joints also, which is actually given in our book. It's far enough to look onto your book. Most importantly, the contraction of the skeletal muscle is very important. Next one is neural control and coordination. Here, first important thing is study about the neurons first. Just get to know about the neurons. The complete parts are very important. Then go for this action potential, synapses, and most important, generation of conduction of nerve impulses. This is very important that you have to remember. CNS system, ANS, where you'll be studying about brains, everything together. And finally, these two are very important. Basic anatomy of human ear and eye. Most easy thing if you're going to understand it. So this is all about this neural control. The next is chemical coordination. Chemical coordination is very simple if you're going to keep revising it. If you're not going to revise it, it will be very tough. So start with the human endocrine system, the body, starting from the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, pineal glands, anterior part of the pituitary, adenohypophysis, posterior part of the pituitary, which is neurohypophysis. What is thyroid? What are the hormones that are secreted by thyroid? What is a parathyroid? You have to remember parathyroid is going to increase the calcium level or decrease the calcium level. Adrenal medulla, adrenal cortex, adrenal glands, and then thymus and GI hormones. These GI hormone questions you can expect in digestion and absorption also. Next, pancreas, most important, mechanism of hormone action. This is very, very important for your examination. So if you are going to target a lot on human physiology, it's very, very easy enough for you to concentrate. So this is about Neet Zoology 11th, and next is Neet Zoology 12th. Here we have reproduction. So here you have to study reproduction in organism, human reproduction, reproductive health. Reproduction organism is a very simple chapter where you'll be having what is asexual, sexual, what is binary fission, gemmules formation, sporulations, fragmentation. We'll be studying about vegetative reproduction, even in asexual reproduction also. Next is human reproduction. This is very important. So whatever the red points that I've made is, do not ever skip it. Male and female reproductive system, the structure you should study. What is oogenesis, spermatogenesis? Oogenesis is kind of complicated when you read it in the book. Every word you have to concentrate on. Of course, menstrual cycle, how a fertilization takes place, and how the embryo is actually forming a blastocyst, and how it is implanted in the uterus, and then how a pregnancy happens, hormones which are involved in parturitions and lactation, which means it comes under chemical control and coordination, some of the parts also. Next is reproductive health, is very easy if you're going to follow the previous year question papers. So sexually transmitted disease, IVF, GIFT, GIF, and some assisted reproductive technologies you have to learn. Next is genetics and evolution. In genetics and evolution unit you'll be learning. So you don't have to learn many things. I would suggest learning this red spotted ones. Darwin's theory, natural selection, gene flow, genetic drift, Harvey-Weinberg's principle, most important one, and human evolution. Finally, human evolution, do not ever miss. You will have questions based on this one. Next is biology and human welfare. Most important is this easy one. If you know this, what are the pathogen, what is the disease, it's going to be very easy. Pathogens, typhoid is caused by what type of salmonella typhi, pneumonia, yes, streptococcus pneumoniae. So common cold is malaria. Malaria plasmodium life cycle is very, very important. How ascariasis, filariasis, ringworms, most important, immunity. What is innate immunity? What is acquired immunity? Active, passive immunity, and antibody diagram is given in our book, which is very important. And vaccination, immune system, AIDS is very important, and then finally cancer, drug and alcohol abuse. We get limited number of questions in drug and alcohol abuse. Rest of the things are important. Next is strategies for enhancement food production. This is very simple chapter. So if anybody want to learn, you can learn it within 1.5 hours or 2 hours. So these 4 are very, very important. Next is biotechnology and its application. You will have questions based on the palindromic sequences, and what is ECO-R1. You'll be having HIND3. What is the first restriction enzymes that has been discovered? Those things you'll be getting in principle and processes. So genetic engineering, what are the steps involved in it? Everything you'll be studying. And in application, you'll be studying how this biotechnology is used in medicine, agriculture, how insulin is produced, how it is used in gene therapy, genetically modified crops like BT crops, transgenic animals, biosafety, and biopiracy is important. So if I have to summarize, the most important thing is, we have expected 2 years back, a lot of questions has come from biotechnology and its application, which is unexpected. So first thing, concentrate on human physiology, very specifically, all the things without missing, and biomolecules you can easily take up, and then animal kingdom, very, very important. And then in structural organization in animals, first concentrate on cockroach, then you can study about the other tissues which is given. And then reproduction, human reproduction, reproductive health is very, very important. Genetics, you can concentrate on evolution, not most of the things, whatever is comfortable you can concentrate on. Human welfare you have to study. Human health and disease is very important. Strategies is very, very simple, you can concentrate. Biotechnology, most important one. So this is all about the most important topic that you have to study in the last 50 days of your time. So you have already studied many of the things, so you have to concentrate on few of the things. And NEET at Biotechnica has already started by January 5th. So if you are really wanted to join at Biotechnica for NEET courses, you are always welcome. So the toll-free number will be displayed over there. You can actually contact us, and we're going to help you, and we have materials which are coming on your way for all of you. Thank you all of you for your time, and I'm going to meet you back again with another video. Thank you.